Hello everybody, Chef Diego here. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make chicken fettuccine alfredo. Nah, I'm kidding guys. Quick description for you guys, I'm wearing my chef coat. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys the story behind this chef coat, as well as just a little bit about my initial thoughts of wanting to be a chef back when I started high school. So let's get on with this video. I think I'll be able to pull off a chef look. Wouldn't you say so? But anyways, guys, yes, when I started high school, my first initial career path was wanting to be a chef. So in the high school I attended, they had different shops, right? And these shops were basically career paths one could take. There were shops for automotive mechanics, automotive body, computer science, graphic design, carpentry or wood shop, HVAC, which is like heating and cooling, and I might be missing a few others. But anyways, you guys get the point. Oh, well, and of course, culinary arts. Your sophomore year, that's when you actually begin to enroll in whatever program you get to go to. I got my first pick, which was culinary arts, and I was ecstatic. Right away, that sophomore year, I was super involved in everything, right? Now, when you're a sophomore and you were just starting the program, they don't really let you do much things in the kitchen because, you know, you're just starting, so they're trying to give you like all the book stuff and all those things. But I was so like interested in it that I would volunteer in a lot of things. Anytime they needed people to help in the academic award ceremonies or banquets rather, or any kind of banquet that the culinary arts team was going to cook for, or as well as other activities such as like fundraisers that we do sometimes outside of the cafeteria, or for example, for Valentine's Day, we would sell cookies, which fun fact, when I learned how to make sugar cookies, I also kind of stopped eating sugar cookies because I realized why they are called sugar cookies. It's like a big old bowl of sugar and then this little tiny bowl of baking powder and flour. And on top of that, you put icing, right? So that's more sugar on top of sugar. Yeah, needless to say, I stopped eating sugar cookies. But no, I mean, I still eat cookies after that, just not as much as I did before. So like I said, I was involved in a lot of things, and that made the chef notice me, right? Because there were other students there, but some of them were just there because, you know, it was something that interested them, but it wasn't something that they were like thinking about taking a career in, right? And I was actually really interested and motivated to actually pursue a career in becoming a chef, right? So my sophomore year ended, and I guess life was like, Diego, your life is a little too easy. Let me add some salt and pepper into your life and start taking away your vision right now. Because as you guys know, during that summer between my sophomore and junior year was when I began to lose my vision, right? So I came in my junior year being visually impaired, and that basically changed things a lot. I came in my junior year struggling with learning how to adapt to being visually impaired, right? And learning how to adapt to academics, you know, how to deal with friends, how to deal with family, how to deal with, you know, all these other things. And on top of that, how to deal with this career path that I wanted to take, right? Culinary arts. Now, I was still able to see to cook, right? So I wasn't scared of like going to the stove and doing things like that, right? But things became more difficult, such as reading labels, right? So anytime I had to go to the walk-in refrigerator, walk-in freezer, or the pantry, or reading recipes, things like that, that became extra difficult. And many times it would make me spend so much time doing one thing. For example, when I would go into the walk-in freezer, I also had night blindness, right? So there wasn't much light, and I would have to look for whatever I was looking for. For example, I was looking for a tomato. I would have to look through the potatoes, the onions, the carrots, garlic, all that stuff until I found a tomato, right? I would also use like my sense of smell, but you know, for the most part, I can feel what a tomato looks like. I mean, I can feel what a tomato feels like. And that's just one example, right? There were so many other things I would have to go look for sometimes, right? And at the time, you know, it was really difficult for me to ask for help. Even today, it's still sometimes difficult to ask for help because it was something that, oh man, like I gotta go ask somebody who's outside to come in here and help me look for one thing. Which also at the time, my friends, they didn't quite understand how much I couldn't see. And I was also not ready to tell everybody, hey, I'm blind, I'm losing vision, right? So they knew something changed because they knew that I came in that junior year and I started using reading glasses, right? And that wasn't something I used before. So they just assumed that I needed them to read and then I was good, right? When in reality, it was more complex than that. So a lot of times what ended up happening was I would be in the refrigerator for a long time trying to look for one thing, and if it happened that a friend came in and he was already there, I would be like, hey, can you help me find this? They'll probably be like, Diego, it's right here in front of you. And I'll be like, oh, my dumbass. I would play it off like, oh, I didn't see it. Which in reality, I didn't see it. For real, right? And funny thing, when it was in the walk-in freezer, I would actually walk in and stay in there for a little bit. And whenever I was already too cold, I would walk out and wait a little bit to heat up a little bit and then go back in and trying to look for whatever I was looking for at the time, right? Now in the pantry it was the same thing. I would have to go through things and either try and feel for them or smell them. Obviously I was not going to smell through all the condiments and all the spices. That would probably hurt my nose a lot. So for the most part I would sometimes ask somebody there, or if, like I said, if somebody happened to come into the pantry, then I would ask, right? So I didn't want to ask somebody to come out of their way to come help me, which perhaps they wouldn't have minded. But at the time, like I said, I was still adjusting to myself, right? And I wasn't comfortable telling people things. Despite all that though, I was still super motivated. I was still super active as much as I could. I was actually volunteering in a lot of things. And there was actually this one event that always happened every year at Navy Pier, which is this, I guess, touristy place downtown Chicago. And the event was called, or rather is called, the Flower and Garden Show. And they would always have a guest chef come in to the event and show the public how to do a certain recipe, right? And that's where I came in, or rather that's when the students came in, right? So we went and we would volunteer and help him out in terms of pass out samples or prep things or just, do whatever he needs us to do. And so that junior year, I decided to volunteer in this, right? Now, I went and I had my cane with me, but I had it in my pocket, right? I had my chef coat on. And so when I got there, I didn't really tell anybody that I was visually impaired. So I was just trying to make sure, everything that I put myself to do was something that I was actually comfortable doing, right? But without telling people that I actually couldn't do certain things or didn't feel comfortable doing certain things. But what happened one time though, one of the guest chefs actually asked me if I can go get something for him that was in the side room, right? And I said yes. It was one of those times where I should have said no. But I said yes, even though I had no idea how I was gonna find it because he gave me visual cues as to where it was. So I go to the side room and I'm basically there just like a dumbass, trying to find something I perhaps don't even know where it is. And I'm there, just wasting time. And then all of a sudden the chef comes and he's a little bit frustrated because, I should have been back with whatever he had sent me to go get. And it was one of those moments where he didn't really scream at me like Chef Ramsay and shit like that. No, he just, he just said, what was taking me so long. And that's when I actually all my, I guess, embarrassment came on. And I took out my cane and I remember I looked down and I was like, oh, I'm actually visually impaired, right? And my thoughts at that moment were man, I'm useless. I can't do things. I had all these negative thoughts at the moment. And, the chef, he was frustrated, but he was very understanding though. And he was like, Diego, you got to tell people these things because, then they're able to help you more, right? So he's like, if you would have told me, I would have probably sent somebody else to get this and I would have had you do something that you feel more comfortable doing, right? I was still embarrassed. And I remember despite him understanding, I was just beating myself up, right? But then I got out and I began to just, help out in the prepping and cutting things. And once everything got going, I was feeling a little better. And then it came to the point where we had to pass out the samples. I grabbed a platter with the samples and I believe it was some kind of pasta. And I started walking around with the little cups, passing around samples. And actually I was I don't want to hit anybody with this and I don't want to drop hot pasta on somebody. So what I decided to do was just kind of go up and down the aisles and have the person in the corner seats pass the samples, right? Because also at the time I wasn't that great at listening for people's voices and directing myself to wherever the voice was coming from, right? I was still trying to use my vision as much as possible. And so whenever somebody would say, over here, I would be like, oh shit, where are they? And that's why I would have like the person on the side, like pass it along, right? But then I was feeling a little overwhelmed, and I was like, you know what? Let me go tell the other people, like, I'd rather prep the samples and, like, cook than actually pass out the samples. Which actually, quick flashback, I was in a youth group, and a lot of times the youth group would be the ones that would collect the money during the collection or whatnot. And there was so many times where I ended up hitting people in the head or like on the side of the shoulder because I couldn't really see them, right? And as my vision got worse, like my hitting accuracy got better. But actually the last time I did the collection was this one time where I accidentally hit this older woman in the head. She seemed like to be like a grandma because she had white hair. She's really old. And I felt really bad. And after that time that I did the collection, I can't remember if it was like my senior or junior year, but after that time was like the last time I did the collection, which was something I enjoyed doing, and it was difficult for me to let go, right? Because it was something that helped me be involved at my church. But anyways, I digress. Back to the chef story. After that event, I remember walking out and having these thoughts of like, do I really want to be a chef, right? That's actually when I decided, you know what? I don't think I want to pursue this anymore. Like, I don't think me being a chef is something that I truly want to seek as a career, right? I still enjoy cooking, and I'm not going to stop that, but just the actual, becoming a chef, I don't think it's going to happen. And so that event actually happened like around March during that junior year. And after March, I just didn't find myself motivated to do anything anymore, right? And I guess part of it was also myself not advocating for myself, like within the culinary arts program, in terms of like asking for accommodations that I perhaps needed. The chef also didn't really know how to help me out. And it's not his fault. I ended up just like not doing much in the class, and I felt like, I can't do certain things when, today I would be like, man, I could do this, I could have done this differently. But, at the time everything was new. So that summer after my junior year, I went to the school and I asked the people who were like setting up the schedules for that senior year to switch my shop. They ended up putting me in computer science, which was pretty cool. It wasn't something I was like truly interested in, but coding and learning how to do HTML stuff, I gotta say, it was pretty cool. Which in addition helped me improve my coding. It was just typing. And also because I was able to take computer science, and it turned out that for seniors, they were only able to take computer science twice that year. I had a spot open, and I was able to take pre-calc, which was awesome because I love math. During high school, math was like my favorite subject. Now though, I don't know how I would do math. I'm so glad I did statistics my freshman year in college because at the time I could still see. Right now, when it comes to math and reading numbers in Braille, I can barely read the numbers in the elevator. I don't even want to know how math works. Oh, before I forget, the story behind my chef coat. So when we were in shop, we would have those white chef coats and just white aprons, right? But there were a group of us who would do a lot of the volunteering, like when it came to like cooking for banquets in the school or just volunteering outside of school, that the chef thought it would be a nice and cool idea to have designed chef coats for ourselves, right? So a group of us got these chef coats, which let me show them to you guys. So this is the chef coat, right? It was all blue, or it is, it is all blue. It has right here the chest pocket on the left. On the top it says, it would say our name, so mine says Diego Espino. Right here, right on the chest pocket, it has a picture of the falcon because that was the mascot of my school. And I believe it says culinary prodigy or something like that. And then here's the back part. You guys could probably read it on there. Sorry. See, that's the chef coat. So I thought it was pretty cool, and I felt really cool using it. So despite not wanting to become a chef anymore, I still continue to cook. Today, I still enjoy cooking. And actually, there was this one day where I was like, you know what? I want to feel like a chef. So I grabbed my chef coat, I invited a group of friends over, and I made them a full course meal, right? I had pizza bread, I had the salad, I had the chicken Alfredo pasta, and I forgot what I had for dessert that day. But I had a full course meal for them. I was actually wearing my chef coat, and it was pretty awesome. So, from time to time, I still continue to find times to cook. I will be honest, it's been a while since I've actually been in the kitchen myself. Since I've lost my center vision, which, because before I was still able to see what was on the pot, now I just look down and it's blurry. So, you know, sometimes I may spill things over the pot. There's been times where I do scrambled eggs and my mom gets home and she knows I cooked because there's scrambled eggs outside on the stove. But I could share more about cooking some other time. But anyways, that is the video I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little bit about myself. And if you have anything you want to share with me, please leave it in the comments below and I would gladly reply to you. Thank you for watching the video, and I will have a new video for you guys next week. Till next time.